Mehdi Hasan's show, it was just announced, is being canceled, which seems like, since it was one of the few that did critical, hard-hitting, dogged interviews, I just imagine you might have thoughts. So briefly, what do you think about that?
I am actually really glad you brought that up. And it underscores the importance of outlets, progressive outlets, independent outlets that will actually talk about these things in ways that aren't just deferential to the US government or the security state or the military industrial complex. He was great. Ayman's also really good. I don't want to act like Mehdi was the only voice, because Ayman on MSNBC is also pretty good.
Yes.
But Mehdi is just like, he's so sharp. And it honestly seems deliberate. Think back to Phil Donahue being canned for being critical of the war on terror. At the New York Times, Chris Hedges, a Pulitzer Prize winner, also got canned for being critical of the war. But if you cheerlead the war, if you justify every single decision and action the US military, or in this case, the Israeli military with the US's support, is doing, your job is safe. And think about the role the media plays in selling these wars to people. So it's not just TYT that you should support. I'm thankful for everyone that does. And you're not going to hear this on other YouTube channels or other progressive and independent media outlets that are really in it for themselves, but try to co-opt some of this language to seem like they're in this fight. You really do need to support more than just your preferred network or outlet. Because there are a ton of, like, the Majority Report is really great. Breaking Points, I think, is decent. You know, Ryan Grimm's show is pretty good. I think that also might be in the Breaking Points network. The Lever is really good. But think about a handful of outlets that do good reporting, ask tough questions, and when they have the opportunity, because a lot of these people won't talk to progressive outlets, when they have that opportunity, really meaningfully push back. That was something Mehdi was great at, and I would assume that's why he was pushed out.
Yeah, and that it definitely is an issue that so many people won't go on progressive outlets. That's 100% true. But yeah, you're right. And didn't he, just like within the last week, he had an interview with, I believe, an Israeli official that got like a ton of news coverage, didn't Mehdi?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sure there'll be a story about why they had to can him. And who knows, maybe he'll get another show in a different time slot or something like that. But I'm not seeing that. The announcements about what's to come doesn't include that. And you're right, he's not the only person who's doing good work, but the particular thing that he brings, he is the best at on mainstream sort of like centrist Democratic networks. So yeah, that is unfortunate to see. And as you point out, it's not the first time something like this has happened. There's definitely a pattern. I mean, you could throw Cenk into that as well. Not particularly for criticisms of war efforts, but criticisms of the Obama administration. And he was canned for that. So yeah. And weirdly, young people don't want to watch those networks that much. I wonder why.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.